heaven's sign to save you. Recognize it before it's too late. Dear friend, life for each person is like a river, calm and smooth at times, then turbulent and rough at others. There are moments when it seems like all doors have closed, leaving us weary and stranded in a dark, unclear path. But did you know that it is precisely in those seemingly darkest moments that heaven quietly sends signals foretelling a miraculous change? The ancients often said, "Heaven's way is compassionate. Heaven never forgets anyone." As long as you remain patient, keep the faith, and open your mind to recognize the signs sent by heaven, you will notice that these signals are not magical miracles, but simple, humble things that carry great power to transform your life. Imagine you are walking down the path of life and suddenly notice strange things, as if an invisible force is guiding you. These could be the challenges you must overcome, the people you meet, or the deep feelings urging you to change. This is how heaven guides you, by helping you realize your potential and opening doors to a brighter future. Below are 6 important signs that indicate your destiny is about to change. Listen until the end, feel, and cherish them, because you might be silently supported by heaven itself. 1. Feeling lost and everything becomes vague. Feeling lost is a state that everyone can encounter in life, a sense of confusion when everything familiar suddenly becomes strange. It is when you stand at a crossroads without knowing where to go, what to do, or what your goals are. Many people view this dark period as a misfortune in life, but the ancients once said, "Having strategies makes one easy to defeat. Having no strategies embodies latent strength and ambiguity." Chaos and confusion are sometimes the very moments when we are embarking on an important personal journey. Imagine you are a small boat drifting in the vast ocean without a map or compass, surrounded by towering waves and a gloomy sky with no escape. But the miracle is that even in the darkness of that ocean, there is a lighthouse guiding you. This lighthouse does not appear through your eyes, but emanates from your own heart. This is why feeling lost is not a sign of failure, but an opportunity for you to turn inward, look directly into your soul, and find the true light. The feeling of being lost often arises when old values no longer align with you, when the things you once believed in and pursued have lost their appeal or meaning. This does not mean you are wrong. It simply means you have matured, and life is leading you to a new stage where old things need to be let go to make room for new ones. The ancients called this tranquility before the storm, a time for you to reshape yourself and prepare for significant changes. 2. Embracing tranquility before the storm. In that state of ambiguity, many people feel fear of losing everything, fear that they will never find their way. But what you need to remember is that being lost does not equate to losing hope. On the contrary, it is an opportunity for you to stop, reflect, and redefine your goals. Ask yourself what truly matters to you, where you want to go, and what is hindering you. The answers do not come immediately, but every moment you spend reflecting brings you closer to clarity. You are getting closer to your true self. The ancients have a story about a humble woodsman in the forest. Day after day, he chopped wood to sell for money and lived a monotonous, repetitive life to the point where he no longer felt excited. One day, while venturing into the forest, he accidentally lost his way. He couldn't find the path back and didn't know how to escape the dense, overgrown forest. In his confusion, he decided to sit down, take a break, and reflect. It was in that moment of stillness that he suddenly realized he had never truly paid attention to the beauty of the forest. The lush canopy, the echoing birdsong, and the gentle fragrance of the earth, which brought him a profound sense of peace. Curiously, he began to observe more closely and discovered rare plants that he had previously overlooked. When he left the forest, he was no longer just a simple woodsman, but had become a herbalist researcher, uncovering new values in life. This story reminds us that ambiguity and feeling lost are not bad things. They are opportunities to change our perspective, slow down, and notice things we have never seen before. Life does not always require a clear plan or a specific goal. Sometimes the very moments of feeling lost are the way heaven leads you to the path you truly belong to. Looking to nature. Look at nature. When a seed is sown into the ground, it must go through darkness, moisture, and what seems like no escape beneath the thick soil layer. But it is precisely in that darkness that the seed begins to sprout and prepares for new life. Similarly, the ambiguity in your life is not an end, but the beginning of a new journey where you will become stronger and more mature. The important thing is not to let yourself be trapped in fear. Learn to accept this state because ambiguity does not last forever. Just as the rain eventually gives way to a clear blue sky, losing your way will lead you to things you never imagined. You just need to trust and be patient. An old saying goes, life is not about waiting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but about learning to walk in the dark. When you feel lost, remember that it is a sign that heaven is testing you. It wants you to become stronger and discover the latent strength within yourself. Believe that today's feeling of being lost is the foundation for building a better life tomorrow. 2. Facing continuous difficulties. Facing continuous difficulties and challenges often brings heavy feelings, pressure, and even suffering. However, the ancients taught that after hardship comes sweetness. If you are facing consecutive hardships, remember that they are not punishments, but the way heaven is refining you to prepare for a significant turning point in your life. Look at the lives of great people, and you will realize that none of them achieved success without going through tough challenges. Challenges are like a furnace. They can burn everything that is not strong enough, but they are also the place where pure, shiny, and unbreakable steel is forged. People are the same. Only by overcoming difficulties can you truly mature, become stronger, and recognize your own value. Difficulties are not only tests of patience, but also lessons that help you realize your hidden potential. When everything is easy, you may feel comfortable, but it is precisely in difficult times that you truly have to face the questions. Who am I? What can I do to overcome this? Those moments force you to break through old limits and challenge abilities you never thought you had. The ancients tell the story of a potter who spent his entire life making beautiful ceramic pots. However, not all of his creations were perfect. Some pots cracked in the kiln, some were deformed due to excessive heat. Yet he never gave up. Every time he failed, he patiently observed, adjusted, and learned to understand the materials and the fire better. In the end, he created stunning pots that were not only aesthetically valuable, but also durable over time. Without those failures and the hardships of facing the fire, he would never have reached the pinnacle of his craft. 3. Overcoming life's difficulties. Difficulties in life are not just tests of patience, but also lessons that help you recognize your hidden potential. When everything is easy, you may feel comfortable, but it is precisely in difficult times that you truly have to face the questions. Who am I? What can I do to overcome this? Those moments force you to break through old limits and challenge abilities you never thought you had. The ancients tell the story of a potter who spent his entire life making beautiful ceramic pots. However, not all of his creations were perfect. Some pots cracked in the kiln, some were deformed due to excessive heat. Yet, he never gave up. Every time he failed, he patiently observed, adjusted, and learned to understand the materials and the fire better. In the end, he created stunning pots that were not only aesthetically valuable, but also durable over time. Without those failures and the hardships of facing the fire, he would never have reached the pinnacle of his craft. Just like fire in a kiln, it is a test of your willpower and patience. If you choose to face it, you will be tempered and become stronger. But if you choose to avoid or run away, you will remain stuck in the same place. And those difficulties will continue to haunt you like a lesson you are not yet ready to learn. In the philosophy of human life, people often say that life doesn't go as planned. The saying "Thup Bat Ku" means that out of 10 things in life, 9 do not go as intended. However, what makes the difference is not the number of difficulties you encounter, but how you confront them. If you blame fate, complain about life, or accuse the heavens of being unmerciful, you are only adding to your own suffering. But if you change your perspective and see difficulties as opportunities to learn and grow, you will find the strength to overcome any adversity. But do you know why heaven sends continuous difficulties? Because it knows you are capable of facing and overcoming them. Heaven never gives anyone a burden they cannot bear. The challenges you are experiencing are signals that you are being chosen to become stronger, more resilient, and ready for greater things ahead. A practical example in nature is the process of diamond formation. Diamonds are not naturally occurring. They are created from coal under extremely high pressure and temperature deep within the earth for millions of years. Only by enduring the harshest conditions does coal transform into a brilliant diamond. Humans are the same. Only by facing difficulties do we truly understand our own value. In the journey of overcoming hardships, the most important thing is that you must not give up. Look at the people around you. There are those in the same circumstances, but the way they deal with difficulties is very different. The resilient ones stand up, learn from failures, and take steps forward, while the weak ones give up and let life push them around. The result is that the resilient always advance further, while the weak remain stuck in a vicious cycle of suffering. A wise philosopher once said that challenges do not make you collapse, but only help you realize how strong you are. When you face continuous difficulties, remind yourself that this is not punishment, but an opportunity. See each difficulty as a stumbling block. You can either stop and complain that it's in the way, or you can use it to build steps to climb higher and look further. Finally, believe that today's difficulties are the foundation for harvesting the sweet fruits of tomorrow. Remember that after the rain, the sky will clear. The suffering you experience is not forever, but just a part of the journey. When you overcome it, you will realize that each difficulty leaves you a valuable lesson that helps you grow and become stronger. And then you will smile gratefully at the challenges that once made you cry, for they are the gifts that heaven has given you. Maybe you feel the need to slow down, a concept that seems opposed to the hectic pace of the era when the world around you is constantly moving. People often think that stopping or slowing down is synonymous with falling behind, but in the philosophy of human life, slowing down is not stopping but a way to step back, observe more clearly, and find the right path among countless choices. As an old saying goes, silence is the foundation of wisdom. Stillness is not just a state of rest, but also a way for your soul to reach enlightenment. When you feel the need to slow down, it is a signal from your mind that you need time to rebalance. Maybe you have been too busy with work, family responsibilities, or societal pressures, and that hustle has caused you to lose your direction, always chasing some invisible goal while forgetting that the most important thing is to care for your soul like a continuously operating machine. If it does not get rest, it will soon break down. Humans are the same. If you do not know how to stop and listen to yourself, you will easily become exhausted both physically and mentally. Imagine you are driving on a long road. If you keep speeding non-stop, you will not be able to see the scenery around you clearly or notice important turns that need attention. But if you slow down, you will have time to admire, reflect, and adjust your direction. Slowing down is similar. It allows you to fully experience each moment, reassess your choices, and find true meaning in life. There is a story that long ago a famous monk received a visiting guest. This guest was a wealthy merchant who was always busy with work and wanted to ask the monk how to attain peace of mind. A Zen master invited a man for a cup of tea, but when pouring, he intentionally let the tea overflow the cup, spilling onto the table and dripping onto the ground. The guest hurriedly tried to stop him and said, "Sir, the cup is full. No more can be poured." The Zen master smiled and replied, "Your mind is like this cup. If it is too full of worries, greed, and pressure, how can it contain any peace?" This story reminds us that sometimes, to receive good things, you need to stop and let go of the burdens in your soul. Slowing down is a way to shed unnecessary things, creating space for intellect and peace. As you slow down, you begin to recognize values you once overlooked. A peaceful morning with a warm cup of tea, the sound of birds singing, or a simple meal with family. These small things suddenly become more precious than ever, not because they have changed, but because you have changed your perspective. The state of slowing down helps you connect more deeply with yourself and those around you. Try observing an archer before he shoots. He doesn't rush, but slowly draws the bow, carefully feeling the tension and accurately adjusting the direction. This slowness does not reduce the speed of the arrow as it leaves the bow, but instead helps it achieve maximum accuracy. Our lives are similar. When you slow down, you do not lose the rhythm of life, but instead accumulate strength, intellect, and peace to move further in the future. There is a misconception that slowing down means abandoning ambition or stopping before the flow of life. In reality, those who know how to slow down at the right moments are the ones with a broader vision. They are not swept away by the hurried pace of life and forget their long-term goals. They understand that to go far, you need to conserve energy and see clearly. You need to pause and observe. A philosopher once said that life is not a race, but a journey. Every step is important, and how you take those steps is as important as the destination. When you feel the need to slow down, don't see it as a failure or a setback, but as an inevitable part of the journey of growth. It is a time to reshape and reassess your goals and values. The external world may urge you to run faster and do more, but your inner world, your soul, needs quietness to regenerate. Listen to that call because it is a sign from the universe reminding you that you are living too fast and need to slow down to see more clearly. Slowing down does not mean standing still. It is a strategic retreat to prepare for bigger leaps. Finally, remember that slowing down is not for you to abandon life, but to live it more fully. Don't be afraid to slow down or fear silence. In that silence, you will hear the voice of your soul, recognize what truly matters, and find the path to lasting happiness. Fourth, people of special significance. There is an old saying about benevolent figures. Special people, the noblemen in life, are gifts bestowed by the heavens. They do not come by chance, but carry great meaning to help us overcome difficult moments, resolve mental conflicts, or lead us to new horizons. When people of special significance appear, it is a sign that the heavens are quietly supporting you, helping you change your destiny in ways you never expected. Each person's life is a journey with countless crossroads along the way. There are times when you feel lonely and as if you are lost in a dense fog. But then someone appears, bringing light to guide you and help you find the right path. They do not necessarily have to be close to you or stay with you for a long time, but their impact on your life is undeniable. They could be a teacher with timely advice, a companion friend willing to share, or even a stranger you meet briefly. An ancient story tells of a poor student and a beggar. The student was eager to learn but could not afford to buy books. One day on his way home, he encountered a weak, emaciated beggar. Moved by compassion, he gave his small amount of money to buy food for the beggar. The next day, the beggar returned, but this time he was no longer shabby but dressed in dignified attire. It was a famous scholar in the region. He had tested the young man's kindness and, moved by his compassion, decided to help him continue his education. From then on, the student's life changed, and he became a respected sage. This story shows us that noble figures sometimes appear in the most unexpected forms. They may not carry a brilliant appearance or flaunt themselves, but what they do for us has deep and lasting value. It is important to recognize them and cherish what they bring. When a noble figure appears, what they bring is not just material help or simple advice, but sometimes a spiritual awakening. They may not directly solve your difficulties, but through their stories, actions, or words, you will realize things you had never thought of before. They open up new perspectives and directions for you, and from there, you find solutions for yourself. Another example of a noble figure is a soulmate friend in life. Not everyone is lucky enough to have such a friend, someone with whom you can share all joys and sorrows, who always accompanies and supports you, even when everything becomes most difficult. They may not be wealthy or powerful, but their presence provides you with the mental strength to overcome adversity. Remember that your soulmate is a precious gift bestowed by heaven, and you need to cherish them. However, noble figures do not always appear in the form of a friend. Sometimes they are just strangers you happen to meet on the street, but the words they say and their small actions leave a deep impression on you. It could be an elderly person advising you to slow down when they see you overworked, or a complete stranger willing to help you when you are in difficulty. Such encounters may be fleeting, but sometimes they are the turning points that change your destiny. Look back at the people who have appeared in your life, those who have helped you overcome difficulties, inspired you, or simply made you feel loved. They are the noble figures that you cannot forget. There are even people whom you did not realize were so important at the time you met them. But when you look back, you understand that it is because of them that you have today. However, to recognize noble figures, you need to have humility and an open heart. If you live with a closed mindset, always thinking that you are sufficient and always right, you will find it difficult to recognize those who are willing to help you. Remember that noble figures may not appear in the form you expect, and their help sometimes does not come in the way you envision. The important thing is that you must be sharp enough to recognize them and grateful enough to cherish them. As the old saying goes, in the journey of life, people you meet may not always be equally fortunate. In life, every encounter has its reason. Those who enter your life, whether they stay long or just pass briefly, all carry a certain significance. Some come to teach you a lesson, some to help you overcome difficulties, and others to evoke within you things you have never realized. Cherish those who have and are appearing in your life. They are not only signs that heaven is guiding you, but also opportunities for you to learn, grow, and move forward. More importantly, when you receive help from noble figures, learn to spread that to others. Because at some moment, you too may become a noble figure to someone else who is waiting for guidance to find light in their life. When you feel your gratitude increasing, gratitude is a noble mental state. It is the light that illuminates the best aspects of life, even in moments that seem dark. When you begin to feel deep gratitude for everything, no matter how small or simple, it is not only a manifestation of a heart full of love, but also a sign that you are in a state ready to receive better things from life. Noble figures have a saying, "A contented person is the richest." Gratitude does not depend on how much you own, but on how you perceive what you have. When you appreciate the small things around you, the morning sunlight, a cool breeze, the laughter of loved ones, or a simple meal, you will realize that happiness does not lie in grand or distant things, but is present in every moment of life. Gratitude is a way for you to connect more deeply with the present. In the hurried pace of life, many people constantly chase after great things, forgetting how fortunate they are to have enough food, clothing, a warm place to return to. This lack of awareness easily causes them to fall into a state of dissatisfaction, feeling that life is unfair or always lacking. But when you stop, take a deep breath, and spend a little time to appreciate simple things like the morning sun, a warm cup of tea in your hand, or the presence of loved ones, gratitude will naturally blossom. There is a story that says once upon a time, there was a wealthy king who always felt dissatisfied, never content with anything. One day he met a beggar singing happily by the road. Surprised, the king asked, "You have nothing in your hands, how can you be so happy?" The beggar laughed and replied, "Your Majesty, I have sunlight to warm me, cool breezes to dispel the heat, and the health to work. That's enough." Hearing this, the king suddenly realized that wealth does not lie in the quantity of possessions, but in the attitude toward life. From then on, he began to practice gratitude and found peace in his soul. When your gratitude increases, it is the time you realize that you are living in harmony with yourself and the world around you. Gratitude not only helps you cherish what you have, but also creates a positive energy source that attracts better things into your life. Like a calm river reflecting the sunlight, a grateful soul will open space for blessings to flood in. Gratitude does not require grand conditions. It starts from the simplest things. Be grateful for a beautiful sunny day, for a healthy body, even in minimal condition, for a word of encouragement from a friend, or even for the challenges that have helped you grow. When you can feel gratitude in every moment, you will no longer be obsessed with what you do not have, but instead focus on what you possess. There is a miracle about gratitude that many people overlook. It not only changes how you perceive life, but also changes what life gives back to you. A soul full of gratitude is like a fertile field where good seeds easily sprout and grow. When you are grateful and cherish the small things, life will send you bigger gifts beyond your expectations. Gratitude is also a way for you to slow down and connect with core values in a world where people are always caught in the whirlpool of ambition and competition. Gratitude helps you return to yourself, finding peace in simple things. It not only brings happiness, but also helps you face difficulties more gently instead of resenting them. Learn to be grateful even for challenges because you understand that they are an important part of your growth. The wise sages of old have repeatedly emphasized that gratitude is the key to unlocking every door to happiness. It is not by chance that people are advised to start and end each day with a thought of gratitude. In the morning, be thankful for having another day to live. In the evening, be grateful for overcoming the day's challenges, whether big or small. These thoughts of gratitude not only bring peace to your mind, but also create a positive energy that spreads around you, making your life more fulfilling. Try taking a moment to reflect on what you have: a loving family, sincere friends, a job to do, or simply a peaceful sleep. When you realize how much you have to be grateful for, you will see that happiness is not a luxury, but something present in every moment of life. Finally, remember that gratitude is not just a mental state, but a way of life. When you practice gratitude, you not only bring happiness to yourself, but also spread positive energy to those around you. And when life sees that you cherish what you have received, it will continue to bestow greater gifts upon you. Gratitude is the foundation of all blessings, and when you feel this, you are taking a significant step on the path to finding the true meaning of life. Sixth, dare to let go of what no longer fits. Daring to let go of what no longer fits is one of the clearest signs that you are maturing both in thought and soul. Life is a journey that constantly moves forward, and to achieve this, sometimes you must learn to release things that were once important in the past, but may no longer hold value for you in the present. Some relationships, habits, or even dreams may no longer be suitable as you change. When you dare to let go, it is the time to open up space to welcome new and better things. The sages have often said, to let go is to receive, and to receive is to know how to let go. This saying contains a profound truth about life. You cannot hold on to everything and still move forward on your journey, just as an overly heavy boat will sink. A soul burdened with meaningless things will also be held back. When you learn to let go, you realize that sometimes losing something is the way to find it. Letting go does not mean failure or giving up. It is a conscious choice to distance yourself from what no longer fits so that you can focus on what truly matters. Think of a garden. If you do not prune the withered branches or remove the weeds, the beautiful flowers will have no space to bloom. Similarly, in your life, things that no longer fit, whether relationships, jobs, or bad habits, are like weeds that need to be removed so that you can develop fully. Daring to let go is a sign of courage and clarity. Many people get stuck in familiarity within unhealthy relationships or unfulfilling jobs simply because they fear change. They cling to the present even though they know it no longer suits them, fearing the uncertainty of the future. But you know what? It is the courage to let go that truly brings freedom. When you let go, you not only free yourself from burdens, but also create opportunities to receive the good things that life is waiting to offer. There is a famous story about a traveler who carried a heavy bag while climbing a mountain. The bag contained everything from food and water to items he thought he would need for the journey. At first, he felt safe carrying everything he had, but the higher he climbed, the more he realized that the bag was becoming a burden, hindering his progress. Finally, he decided to leave behind some unnecessary items, and the more he let go, the lighter he felt. His steps became quicker and easier. When he reached the mountain peak, he realized that it was his courage to let go that helped him achieve his goal. This story profoundly illustrates the lesson of letting go in life. We often carry invisible bags filled with relationships, habits, and thoughts that no longer fit. These things make us feel safe, but simultaneously slow us down or even hold us back. Only when you courageously set them down can you move forward toward better things. Letting go is also a lesson in acceptance. Accepting that not everything belongs to you, and that not everything you want to hold on to is good for you. A toxic relationship, even if it was once a source of joy, needs to be left if it no longer brings happiness. An outdated dream, even if it was once a motivation, needs to be replaced if it no longer aligns with reality. When you learn to accept and let go, you will feel lighter, no longer haunted by the past, like water that must flow to avoid stagnation. life also requires constant movement. If you cling to the past, you won't have space to welcome new things. When you dare to let go, you are renewing yourself and your life, and this renewal opens doors you never imagined. A wise sage once said that letting go is not about loss, but a conscious action to open up and receive. When you let go of things that no longer fit, you will feel a sense of freedom in your soul and peace in your heart. You will no longer be bound by expectations, fears, or invisible pressures. Instead, you will find peace, clarity, and a new path forward. Finally, remember that letting go is not an act of weakness, but a sign of courage and maturity. When you dare to let go of what does not belong to you, you are giving yourself the opportunity to live a more fulfilling life. Trust that heaven always sees your efforts. When you know how to let go, He will guide you to better things, just as He quietly guides those who overcome fear to seek the light. Dear friend, life is a wonderful journey where every step carries messages that heaven sends us. Signs that, although sometimes vague and hard to recognize, are the ways He guides us through challenges and whispers reminders that you are on the path of growth and change. Remember that heaven never betrays those who strive, live with a kind heart, and always cherish even the smallest things. Difficulties, losses, or changes in life each carry their own meaning. They do not come to make you collapse, but to prepare you to be strong and wise enough to enter a new, brighter, and more promising phase. Do you recognize any of these signs present in your life? Perhaps you feel lost or are facing continuous difficulties. Maybe you notice your gratitude growing or have learned to let go of what no longer fits. If you recognize any of these signs, believe that it is not by chance. It is heaven's way of quietly guiding you to become a better version of yourself. Listen to these signals, keep faith in your journey, and move forward with an open heart. Surely, something beautiful is waiting for you ahead, for life is always fair to those who dare to trust and never stop striving.